Good evening, everyone. The topic that I'm going to share to you tonight is entitled To Live Life Over. Have you ever thought about going back in time? Well, I did. I even thought of doing it myself through imagination and wished I'm still in my 30s or my 40s. But no, I'll be turning 54 this month. And so it's not just gonna work at all. But my concern is, would it be better if we could take our knowledge of this life with us and go back to correct mistakes and events that we did not like or that we have regretted? These questions have been circulating in my mind if given a chance to do things over again. I found this very simple but relevant verse. In Proverbs 8:17 it says, I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me. This should not be hard to understand, but I just can't explain why I was one of the victims of those who did not see it. And I'm sure there are just very few grasped and realized it. And I thought I am the only one who feels this regret about my past years for not living the life I should have lived. But no, even the disciples during the Pentecost, they regretted over their mistakes of not living the life they should have lived. They thought if they could but have the past 3 years to live over, how differently they would act. If they could only see the Master again, how earnestly they would strive to show him how deeply they loved him, and how sincerely they sorrowed for having ever grieved him by a word or an act of unbelief. But they were comforted by one thought, that they were forgiven. I quoted that from the book Acts of the Apostles, chapter 36. The scripture tells us that God has given us the opportunity of knowing him again. So why worry of the past when we have all the chances to live our lives over? He understands that while no one would really appreciate a thing until one sees its value, so is life. We can only realize the moments we see it in a clear perspective. This promise may help us do our best to live our lives now. First, have a meditative and a prayerful life, day and night. Wake up. Seek him while the world is asleep. This is a spiritual sleeping. This means that while many spend their time in the world, we need to be awake. Second, look unto him and see his face again to see what's lacking in our faith. Know him well, and he will guide and teach us. Listen, he speaks and whispers to us through his words, nature, and creation. Unload ourselves from our earthly wants and cares. Make God our leader to run this spiritual race and battle. It's not our battle, but we need to side on him. He wants our loyalty and obedience to win. Choose to work for him, using all the resources and means he provides us, such as talents, gifts, skills, not to entertain doubts and fears. And at last, always end each day with a prayerful heart and thank him for whatever lessons and blessings each day brings. Friends, this is the time to reflect. I remember this quote, we can pass through this world but once. As we pass along, let us make the most of life. We don't need to go back to do things over, but we can use the knowledge he provides us as our guide to live our lives to the fullest now. God bless and thank you.